In the game of Hitman, you take control of Agent 47, a master assassin who sneaks into enemy territory, eliminates his targets, and escapes without leaving a trace. Well, that's the idea, anyways. Although it's often played like a simple third-person shooter, the incredible map design, complex mechanics, and huge arsenal of weapons and tools create a sandbox puzzle experience like none other. Just as exceptional as the game, though, is the speedrunning community and what they've been able to accomplish over the years. From abusing the AI to make themselves effectively invisible, to consistently launching a bomb all the way across the map, Hitman speedrunners have proven that the sky wasn't the limit. It was only the beginning. But still, I discovered a speedrun category with potential that flew under the radar. A run featuring a suit that would give goosebumps to even the most seasoned jiggle physics connoisseurs. I'm speaking, of course, about the flamingo suit. In this video, I'll be showing you the incredible strategies we used to speedrun the entire Hitman trilogy as a bird on a mission for vengeance. This is how speedrunners broke Hitman's Bird Percent trilogy. First, let's go over the rules of the run. Normally, I speedrun the SASO category, meaning Silent Assassin Suit Only. This run is actually SABSO, as you have to wear the bird suit for every level and use the secret bird exit in Miami. The only gear you're allowed to pack is the Feather Duster, Distraction Kiwi, the various lethal and non-lethal exploding duckies, the Ducky Sniper, and of course, the Ducky Pistol. Not the full auto, but this little guy. It holds 5 bullets, isn't reloadable, and most importantly, quacks like a duck when you shoot it. Once you're inside the level, you can pick up and use any items you like. In this speedrun, you're required to maintain the Silent Assassin rating. There's a ton of conditions you have to fulfill, but the short version is, don't kill anyone but the targets, don't get caught on camera, or destroy the evidence if you do, don't get seen doing something illegal, and also, pacified or dead bodies cannot be found, unless they got that way via an accident. To see if you still have Silent Assassin, you can enable a set of green guns on the HUD that turn yellow if you've been caught on camera, and red if you've been compromised. Finally, this run is performed on the game's hardest difficulty, Master, inserting a ton of extra cameras and guards, as well as giving NPCs increased audio and visual awareness. With all that out of the way, let's head to the first mission of the run, Paris. After navigating through the riots to reach our destination, we'll of course select the flamingo suit and the default entrance, bringing along the Ducky Pistol and Sniper. Our mission requires us to eliminate 2 figureheads of the infamous spy association known as Iago, frontman Viktor Novikov and the true mastermind Dalia Margolis. In Hitman, NPCs perform the same cycle of actions every run. Since we can predict where our targets will be at any given time, and these runs are measured by the in-game timer, we'll wait until we see ourselves looking fly on the red carpet before we skip the cutscene. As we jiggle past the fountain into the main entrance, we're heading towards our first target, Viktor Novikov. You'll notice that we're surrounded by a large crowd, but only certain NPCs are real, which are indicated by dots on our minimap. While these fake NPCs will cause you to lose Silent Assassin if you kill them, they can't compromise you or report you for your crimes, and can also be used to conceal yourself from enforcers. We'll start by throwing our briefcase in this specific location, causing it to smack into the underside of the stairs. Since Viktor perceives the sound of the briefcase to have come from the upper surface of the stairs, he sends his bodyguard to investigate while he carries on making an entrance. As we wait for him to do this, we'll run through a crowd of fake NPCs, nestling into this corner and pulling out our Ducky Pistol. Since the only real NPCs have their vision obstructed, we'll remain uncompromised as we shoot to bring the chandelier down on Viktor. Now we can move on to eliminating Dalia, who's currently roaming around the top floor. Rather than going upstairs, we're going to be using our sniper to dispatch her in a similar manner. Once we've made our way to the back and hop this fence, we'll take out this camera and head towards the hedge, shooting once over here to turn around this handsome fella so he doesn't see us sneaking into the back courtyard. Diana can randomly wait a few extra seconds out on the balcony, but other times she'll be under the chandelier much more quickly than you expect, so it's important to know how to fast unpack. When you unpack something from a briefcase, there's a short animation that prevents you from being able to move or aim. By dropping the briefcase, hitting unpack, and then hitting crouch all in rapid succession, you can cut the animation down to an instant and start moving again much faster. Here, this helps us make sure we'll be ready to snipe the chandelier above Dahlia right as she's underneath, eliminating Iago's golden goose and making our escape in the nearby helicopter. If I told you about the cock of the rock, you'd probably think I'm referring to Dwayne Johnson. But it's actually a bird from South America that's kind of like a speedrunner. They dedicate immense time and effort to perfect a little courtship dance, but I guess that means this bird actually has a chance of finding a mate. Anyways, our next mission takes us to Sapienza, Italy, where we'll start off in the ICA apartment, bringing along our sniper, pistol, and a feather duster. We'll need to eliminate scientists Francesca DeSantis and Silvio Caruso, as well as a deadly virus prototype hidden in a seaside laboratory. After skipping the cutscene about 5 seconds in, we'll head out the back way, fast unpacking our sniper and picking up a brick for later. We'll drop off this wall and make our way into the basement of Silvio's estate, creeping past these staff and firing a single bullet distraction into this corner. With this guy out of our way, we'll look through this terrible scope to fire another distraction shot over here, turning the attention of another staff member who would see us. This speedrun is difficult because of the limitation on items, but also due to the bird suit itself. Not only does the scope of this sniper let you simulate the night vision of your 80-year-old grandma who probably shouldn't be driving, but if your camera pushes up closer to the suit, it often obscures your entire field of view. Not even instinct vision can see through the bird suit, and that lets you see through a concrete bunker if you need to. Anyways, once we've made our way to this balcony, we'll fire a well-placed distraction shot, causing both guards to turn away so we can sneak up this pipe. Once we've made our way to the roof, we'll shoot this box, which makes Silvio stop his golf lessons and head over to the observatory. In the meantime, we'll turn tail towards Francesca, using our sniper to take out this camera, distract this guard, and open up these two doors. We are on our way to pick up a secret test vial of the virus, coded specifically to Franny's DNA. There's actually very little in the level that suggests that the vial is here, so it took players quite a long time to find it inside that model boat we destroyed. Once we have it, we simply toss it into Franny's office and head back down towards the observatory. The vial leaves a large kill area for only Francesca wherever it breaks, making it a fantastic method for taking her out without leaving a trace. Francesca hasn't actually entered the office yet, but while we're waiting we can run back across this roof, dropping off near that pipe we climbed earlier and heading back down the stairs. Once this guard turns his back, we can use our sniper to shoot this hanging solar system and kill Silvio at the same time that Franny succumbs to the virus. Now there's only one objective left, and that's to eliminate the virus. We'll take out this camera and use our sniper to break open this door, gaining access to the underground lab. Here, we'll misdirect these guards with two well-placed distraction shots, making sure neither guard hears two bullets and goes into a panic. Now that they're in position, we can pacify them with our trusty duster and that brick we picked up earlier, grabbing this guy's body and throwing him into the storage container so he isn't found. Normally no one else walks through here, but we're going to perform something called a triple shot. In most cases, when you shoot near an NPC, they will act as though it's just a simple sound distraction. When you shoot twice near them, they'll register it as a bullet impact. Regular NPCs will panic and look for a guard, and guards will enter a state of alertness. When a guard hears 3 bullet impacts, they'll enter a special state of panic, pausing briefly before heading directly to where those shots were fired. If you're able to get outside the immediate area the shots were taken from, they'll be blind to you doing certain illegal actions. Like, say, trespassing into a secret lab, waving a sniper rifle around dressed as a giant flamingo. Once we triple shot those guards, we'll take out the virus with the sniper and destroy the security cam. Now we're going to do a panic shot, which has very similar properties to the triple shot, except that it's initiated with a non-lethal shot on an NPC. Having panicked and blinded all the relevant NPCs, all we have to do is escape to the seaplane. While we could hop onto this pipe and slide down, this Legend Sapienza is very special, as you can jump all the way off the cliff just by aiming in with a pistol and interacting with the drop-down prompt. With this nifty piece of tech, we can hop this ledge, make our way past the panicked NPCs, and take flight towards our escape in the seaplane. For our next mission, we'll be hearing a lot about coups, although there aren't any pigeons involved. In Marrakesh, Morocco, we'll be starting off at the default entrance, bringing along our pistol, sniper, and a concussive ducky. Here, we're tasked with taking down corrupt war general Reza Zaydan and politician Klaus Strandberg. After immediately skipping the cutscene and jamming ourselves into this corner, we need to take very careful aim through a moving crowd of fake NPCs, performing a panic shot on a faraway carpet salesman. This allows us to trespass slightly into Reza's military compound without being compromised, as the nearby guards are concerned with heading towards the shooter. Once we've reached the top of these stairs, we'll fast unpack our sniper and shoot this conveniently placed tank of propane twice, taking out Reza with a ridiculously quick accident kill. After we fast repack our sniper, we'll sprint all the way across the map towards the Swedish consulate where Klaus is hiding. Fake NPCs allow you to blend into the crowd and become invisible to enforcers, but they also slow you down. Sometimes, running along the flat edge of a surface is enough to let you sprint, but other times you just have to pick a line and hope they don't move around too much. Once we've made it to the edge of the consulate, we'll drop our briefcase in front of these two, cutting off their conversation and making them leave us alone. This clears the way for us to pull out our pistol, take out this camera, and barely make it through these doors without being compromised. After entering the parkade, we'll use a single bullet distraction to turn this guard around and carefully weave through obstructions to remain unseen by the rest. Now that we're safely behind this vehicle, we can fast unpack our sniper, unlocking these doors and taking out the security camera. With our second target Klaus on the go, we've been moving as fast as possible in hopes of timing this kill perfectly. Before we head upstairs, we'll grab this tank of propane and start crouching as soon as we open this door. We'll make sure not to uncrouch until we're out of view of these guards, and continue our beeline towards the second doorway on the left. With perfect movement and a bit of luck, you'll make it to these doors with perfect timing, allowing you to toss the propane at his feet and shoot it, eliminating him with an explosive accident. Most times, the panic around the explosion will be contained to the top floor, allowing us to sneak past these guards and head back into the parkade. While we're making our way out the same way we came in, let's talk about another method we can use to take out Klaus. If you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and gamble that you'll make it in time to kill him the way I showed you, you can just place the ducky and propane right about here, using your map to watch and wait until he gets close enough to detonate the ducky. Unfortunately, if he's too close to the duck, he'll be seen being pacified by it for an instant before the propane explodes, and you'll lose Silent Assassin permanently. Either way, with Klaus dealt with, escaping is as easy as sneaking out of the parkade and running all the way to an exit in the marketplace. While people say that Swan's made for life, their commitment actually isn't unconditional, as they still have problems with arguments and adultery just like humans do. Not like you have anything to judge about, you can't even commit to hitting the little subscribe button below the video. In Thailand's capital, Bangkok, we'll start off at the docks, bringing along our sniper and pistol. Here, two targets are up on the chopping block: Jordan Cross, pop rock superstar, and his old lawyer, Ken the Brick Morgan. Again, since NPCs begin their movements during the cutscene, we'll be waiting all the way until the end of this one before we make a move. Once we begin, we'll make sure this guard isn't looking at us. If he is, we can simply pull out our gun and put it away again, causing him to look the other way. Once we're sure he's not looking, we'll take a single distraction shot on this wall to turn him around before fast unpacking our sniper. First, we're going to take a single shot through this part of the window. Sometimes, when an NPC hears a bullet hit the ceiling, they will actually perceive the noise to be on the floor of the room above, heading up whatever stairs they can find to investigate, just like this guy here. This is a special type of distraction shot known as a ceiling shot. Once we've done that, we'll post up here and wait for Jordan to turn around, firing 2 shots into this part of the wall and once into this window. The first 2 shots make Jordan register a bullet impact, causing him to panic and head into the next room alone. The last shot into the window is actually another ceiling shot, causing the only guards who would go to Jordan to head upstairs towards the floor of the room above. Of course, these things don't happen until time passes, so while we wait for Jordan to move, we'll head around this corner and shoot the chandelier, dropping it onto Ken Morgan's shiny dome for an accident kill. Due to the ceiling shot we did at the start of the mission, the only nearby non-target is out of harm's way on his journey to the next floor. With Jordan isolating himself in his room, we can take him out with a simple shot to the arm, quickly dropping the sniper and running towards the exit. So this guard doesn't see us when we're trespassing, we'll bump into his shoulder and run through these doors. We'll then perform a triple shot to blind a couple guards and take out this camera with our last shot. If you happen to miss like I did, tough luck. You only get 5 bullets, so you're forced to lose some time while you're avoiding the camera, allowing us to exit and bring great shame to our family. Our next contract takes us to Colorado, where we'll infiltrate the only farm in the state that isn't growing weed. We'll start off in the default entrance, and the only thing we need is our sniper and feathery suit. Here, we actually have 4 targets, all of whom are key figures in a terrorist network. Penelope Graves, former Interpol agent, Maya Pavardi, retired assassin, Sean Rose, radical eco-terrorist, and Ezra Berg, professional cosplayer. We'll once again need to watch the entire cutscene for everyone to get into position, so I'll be fast-forwarding this one as well. We'll begin by moving over to this part of the fence, unpacking our sniper to shoot this car 3 times, meaning it will only take 1 more shot to blow it up at the end of this level. Think of this kind of like preheating the oven before you put the turkey in. Now we'll infiltrate the compound and head over to this patch of grass, looking over to this specific plank and lining it up against the doorknobs to make sure we're standing in the right position. Once the target in our crosshairs has moved far enough away from where the bullet will impact, we'll take a single shot through the fence to hit a lawnmower and make it start leaking gasoline fumes. About 3 seconds after, we'll shoot this chandelier, earning our first elimination with an accident kill on Penelope. Now I'll take some time to further indulge the bird enthusiasts in the audience. When was the last time you saw a pair of great tits? I mean, just look at them. Look at this massive woodcock staring right down the barrel of the lens. Isn't nature wonderful? Anyways, now that we've waited long enough, we'll take out this camera and perform a triple shot on these guards, blinding them to our existence as we run past them to our final vantage point. While we're doing this, Ezra Berg drops a cigarette, eliminating himself in an accidental lawnmower explosion. Our third target, Maya, will then start walking out of the barn, allowing us to take her out in a tragic hay bale accident with our sniper. Finally, Sean Rose will be heading towards that car we shot at the very beginning of the mission. By shooting it precisely at 1 minute and 13 seconds, we can blow up the car just as Sean is in lethal range, killing him while leaving his guards relatively unscathed. In most levels of Hitman, it actually takes 3 seconds after the last kill for the exit prompt to appear, giving us time to strut to the exit in style. For the final mission of Season 1, we're cashing in our nest egg to buy a ticket for the finest spa and hospital resort in Hokkaido, Japan. We'll start off at the default entrance, bringing our pistol and a couple of lethal duckies. Here, we're going to eliminate Yuki Yamazaki, a prominent Yakuza lawyer working for Eric Soders, our former boss. After waking up from a weird nightmare about the bird flu, we'll get out of bed and head over to this window, taking 2 shots on the gondola platform to put Yuki into a lockdown. Once she starts trying to enter the gondola, we can use our remaining 3 bullets to Yuki her Yamazaki's in a tragic accident kill. Now that she's been dealt with, we can move on to Soders. Currently in the middle of a transplant operation, Soders is one of the more unique targets in the trilogy. He cannot be moved and can die remotely if you destroy the heart he's supposed to receive. Additionally, he has very little health and his body can never be found. This means that we can eliminate him with an illegal explosion through the glass of the operating room, leaving him lifeless in a crow's nest of robotic arms. With both objectives complete, we simply sprint through the spa and out onto the snowy path, making our escape by stealing a nearby snowmobile. In a recent study, young men who self-identified as avid birdwatchers were 33% less likely to experience lung issues, and over 80% more likely to be shoved in a locker while being called a, quote, turbo virgin. The first mission of Season 2 takes us to Hawke's Bay, that place they shot Lord of the Rings. We'll be starting off at the office entrance, bringing along our pistol, a concussive ducky, and an explosive ducky. Our sole target is Alma Reynard, a dangerous night owl with connections to the Shadow Client, the mysterious antagonist of Hitman 2. We'll start by running over to this painting, which we can interact with by holding G. We can simply hit the inventory button right before we hold G, filling up the little meter instantly and snapping us into the animation. While it's a very small time save in this instance, we use this same tech all over the place, from storing bodies to exiting every mission. In a pinch, this trick can be the difference between getting caught and staying a free bird. Once inside, we'll grab the computer credentials and raid the small arsenal on the wall, grabbing a trank, silenced pistol, and a grenade that we'll immediately throw to get rid of the cameras. After navigating some secret passageways, we'll grab a tank of propane and a can of expired spaghetti for later. With our best Larry Bird impression, we'll lay up the propane into this corner, hoping that it lands in the right spot as we head upstairs to access the computer where a cutscene begins. This cutscene's pretty cool, especially when you're wearing the flamingo suit, but we'll be skipping it immediately, as it started during the mission, so the clock is still running. Also, the NPCs will still be in the same location, regardless of when you skip the cutscene. We'll hit space twice, once to skip the cutscene and once to get out of cover, immediately running over to this precise location on the stairs. After letting the first guard get into the house, we'll trank Alma's guest and then the guard, leaving their bodies just out of view of the other mercs. Using that expired spaghetti, we'll pacify Alma before she turns around, running over to the leaky propane we threw earlier and dropping a duck to set it off remotely. During our long migration to the exit, we'll go towards this gully and pull out our ducky pistol, praying to Horus that we don't miss. With 2 panic shots, we're free to run past these guards that are now completely blind to our existence. To draw the final group of guards away from the boat, we'll shoot a gas tank at the back of this truck, causing an explosion that makes them come running. With 1 stubborn guard still hanging around our dinghy, we'll use our last bullet to hit another panic shot, causing them to group up away from the exit. With every relevant enforcer blinded to our presence, we're free to take our boat on the open ocean to freedom. In everyone's favorite gator-infested Everglades, there isn't a peregrine in sight, because this level is sacred to the run, so there's no falcon around here. In order to make use of the secret bird exit, we'll need to start off in the bird disguise, bringing along our pistol, feather duster, and a concussive ducky. Our task is simply to eliminate 2 targets: seasoned inventor and CEO Robert Knox, and his race car driving daughter, Sierra. We'll start off observing the ritual mating dance of the panhandle pink, a flamingo known for its aggression and proclivity for stimulants that can only be found in southern Florida. Anyways, the rest of these levels are run suit only, but here's the one time we can enjoy the privilege of a disguise, like this 50-pound pink fursuit on a hot, humid Florida afternoon. We'll head through this employee exit and up these stairs, walking over to this part of the overpass. We're going to wait until Robert is heading down the stairs and Sierra is rounding the final corner of the track before taking a shot to destroy the laptop. Like a duck to water, Robert simply can't resist the urge to investigate a technical problem, so he starts heading towards it immediately. Now, we'll take some carefully aimed shots to hit Sierra's car 3 times, eliminating her in a fiery accident. With this, we can turn our attention back to Robert, running through these doors and hopping out a window so we can climb up this pipe and place a gun and ducky for Robert to find. When a non-guard finds a weapon, they will seek out the nearest guard and let them know about it, causing the guard to collect it and put it into the nearest storage container. When Robert tells his guard to collect our gun, he isolates himself, letting us wait until he checks out that duck we placed on the ledge to go over and push him off, finishing off the Knox family with another accident kill. Before we killed Robert, you may have noticed how I almost let the guard inside spot me. This was intentional and is commonly referred to as a peekaboo lure. If you're trespassing and the yellow awareness meter fills up to about 3/4, the NPC will head over to investigate the spot they saw you in. Doing this here allows us to sneak by him in this room instead of distracting him on our way to the exit. Since we're wearing the flamingo disguise, the helicopter that's normally here is replaced by our precious eggs, allowing us to reclaim them and fly off into the Miami sunset, leaving Florida as many others do. with memories and probably some sort of venereal disease that will both last a lifetime. In order to satisfy the vices we acquired blending into the Miami nightlife, we're headed to the cartel-controlled jungles of Santa Fortuna, Colombia. We'll start at the default entrance, bringing along our sniper, pistol, and a concussive ducky. Here, we have 3 targets: Cartel King Rico Delgado, cocaine cultivator Jorge Franco, and clickbait thumbnail model Andrea Martinez. After taking some time to admire the parrots, we'll skip the cutscene right away, taking a single shot into the right side of a doorway to panic Andrea into a target lockdown. Immediately after, we'll fast unpack, take out this camera, and fire a distraction shot before killing her with a well-timed shot on this hanging pot. With Andrea out of the way and the nearby NPC distracted, we can scoop up this propane and start making our way towards Rico's compound. Once we're here, we'll need to toss our propane over the wall and climb this vine next to the loudest waterfall known to humankind. Now, we'll simply drop down, pick up our propane, and take out this camera so it doesn't see us on the way out. Instead of immediately going after Rico, we'll exit the compound just as quickly as we got in, taking a detour to the coca leaf processing plant that Jorge runs in the jungle. In here, we'll be sure to stick to the bushes, making our way safely through the fields and towards the side gate of the property. Before we leave, we can drop off this propane and use our sniper to take out this security camera so we can run through the tunnel towards Rico's mansion. We'll see a group of Rico's employees training for careers in the financial industry, but instead of joining the party and filling up on beak candy, we'll set up an impromptu sniper's nest behind this box. From here, we'll fire a single shot into this wall, causing a nearby butler to investigate and get out of harm's way. This leaves Rico alone as we shoot the outlet and aquarium to leave Rico sleeping with the fishes. Now we're ready to set up the accident kill on Jorge, placing the propane and ducky in such a way that he dies from the explosion, but doesn't get pacified by the duck beforehand. You could wait longer and set up a propane further along his path, but in most cases, just winging it works out pretty well. Now, all we have to do is waddle towards the exit, using our pistol to take out a camera so we can stay out of sight on our way to the chopper. I learned a lot about the birding community while making this video, and let me tell you, these guys have some lingo. I mean, what other hobby could have you reasonably saying that you'll be getting gripped off by other birders if they see the cock of the rock without you this summer? Our next flight will land us in Mumbai, India, where we'll be starting off at the skywalk with our ducky pistol and 2 concussive duckies. Here we have 3 targets: corrupt Bollywood star Dawood Rangan, local organized crime leader Vanya Shah, and a man known only as the Maelstrom, the leader of a gang called the Crows. Although he spawns in with a different appearance every time you start the mission, he has the same movement cycle and always starts in the same place. After briefly admiring one of my favorite visual gags in the series, we'll skip the cutscene and immediately take one distraction shot on this door, causing the Maelstrom to tell his guard to go investigate. With another shot on this wall, we'll distract the guard at the bottom of the stairs so we can sneak by. We need to ensure that the Maelstrom is close enough to this scooter before dropping a concussion duck and blowing it up right away, cooking the Maelstrom's goose only 30 seconds into the level. There's many ways that the nearby guards could choose to deal with the explosion, and with most of them being enforcers, hiding in this box until it's safe is the best option. With any luck, they'll all walk by so we can get out, grab this brick, and head towards the kilns. While most conventional story secrets to manipulate targets aren't used in speedruns, sometimes map secrets can be incredibly useful. In Mumbai, we'll throw a brick into this kiln, causing it to spew out purple smoke. While this definitely makes the place a little more fabulous, it also causes Vanya and Dawood to start heading to a meeting near the slums. To prepare, we'll grab this propane and head through the crowd before tossing it over here for later, using our newly freed hand to pick up this car battery and start heading towards the puddle. Once we get there, we'll do another Larry Bird impression, tossing the battery in to create an electrical accident waiting to happen. Now we need to get back to the propane and run towards the construction site next to Dawood's tower. Once we're here, we'll fire a single distraction shot to turn these fellas around, letting us make our way further into the site. Once we get to this corner of the steps, we'll lay down our trap card, tossing the propane and placing the concussive ducky right about here. As we sneak through the construction site, Vanya Shaw will walk into the puddle and die in a tragic electrocution. Our last target, Dawood Rangan, is completely unaware of her death, so he continues on his path towards the meeting point. Although he's being accompanied by a large group of guards, they conveniently wait on the stairs while Dawood rounds the corner, letting us blow up the concussive ducky and eliminate Dawood in a flash of propane. With all 3 targets having perished in a series of tragic accidents, all that's left for us to do is to walk to the exit. In Whittleton Creek, Vermont, we'll be taxing a couple rich dudes so hard that you could call us Bertie Sanders. We'll be starting off at the default entrance, bringing our pistol, sniper, and a feather duster. We need to collect 3 clues and eliminate 2 targets, Providence Herald Nolan Cross and Janus, a man whose helicopter disrupts the local nesting birds. Also, he was a war criminal. Anyways, after we watch the cutscene until we see a certain guard, we'll immediately skip the rest and head to this line on the sidewalk. From here, we can just get an angle into the open window of Janus's room, allowing us to shoot this oxygen tank twice and eliminate him not even 10 seconds into the mission. We'll then need to immediately take out our pistol, as NPCs are actually less aware of you if you're carrying a pistol and sniper, as opposed to just a sniper. This lets us remain undetected as we shoot to distract this guard and make our way into the garage, picking up a wrench for later. Once we wait for this guard to be closest to the generator, we'll turn it on, causing him to come investigate. In order to make sure it doesn't draw anyone else's attention, we'll turn it off as soon as we can and head out of sight, letting us knock out this guard, who also happens to be carrying our first clue, right as he comes through the door. As quickly as we can, we'll drag his body into the freezer, using the trick I talked about earlier to fast interact with the box. With perfect timing, we're ready to perform a peekaboo lure on Nolan, being sure to position ourselves as far as we can into the garage before the meter fills up. We'll wait for Nolan to enter the garage with his guard trailing behind him. Ideally, he'll be lured far enough in so we can close the door before we pacify his guard and eliminate Nolan with a headshot. As this video shows though, you can get away with some crazy gunplay in plain sight, which actually makes sense given that this is an American neighborhood. Once again, we'll use the generator, allowing us to entice this other guard into the room so we can knock him out and clear the path forward for ourselves. With both targets no longer breathing, all that's left to do is collect 2 other pieces of intel. After taking out the cameras and making sure the path is clear, we'll head out into the backyard and over this fence. We're actually heading towards the guy who filed the lawsuit to protect the birds, so we'll spare him any head trauma by firing a single shot to turn him away from us. Now we'll use our sniper to unlock the door, dropping it and heading inside to pick up the second clue. With our newly acquired shovel, we'll dig into a hole in the grass, uncovering our third and final clue to complete our last objective. Now, our exit is as simple as sneaking past this guard and onto this bridge for our escape. Next up is the Isle of Sgail, a Scottish island that's home to the elusive Ark Society's annual gala. We'll be starting off the party at the keep, bringing along our sniper, pistol, and that incurable disease we picked up in Miami. Our targets are the twin chairwomen of the Ark Society, Sophia and Zoe Washington. After waiting out the short cutscene, we'll begin making our way down the tower, fast unpacking our sniper and sliding down this pipe to expedite our descent. Once we've reached the bottom window, we'll climb back in, firing a single shot with the sniper to distract a guard who can make our life difficult later. With that accomplished, we can simply sprint down the stairs and through the storage room to make our way back outside, creeping through the tall grass and getting ourselves next to this blindfolded harpist. Once we see Sophia stop to inspect something, we'll tell the harpist to begin, initiating the funeral processions and causing Zoe to alter her path and begin heading towards the wake. To make Sophia's guard stand still, we'll fire a single shot into the wall through this window, leaving her alone in the kill zone as we shoot to bring the chandelier down on her head. To get rid of the other twin, we need to head down these stairs and towards this vantage point, carefully monitoring Zoe's position. We need to shoot the wall once in this spot as soon as she's taken about 3 steps out of the door. With her guard still inside, she doesn't ask him to check it out, instead electing to investigate the noise herself, and letting us use another falling object to eliminate the remaining twin.
Both targets down.
After firing a single shot to distract these guards, all that's left to do is slide down this ladder and head to our escape. Although we usually just ask people to put it on our bill, today we're heading to the bank in New York City, where we'll start off at the default entrance, bringing along our pistol, sniper, and a concussive ducky. This contract allows us to, close the account of the bank's cutthroat manager, Athena Savalas. In the process, we'll also need to collect 3 backup data disks, carried by Athena and her henchmen, Mateo Perez and Fabian Mann. We'll skip the cutscene as soon as we see those big fluffy talons, immediately taking out our pistol and firing a single distraction shot on this wall. Doing this allows us to make our way past a guard who would normally need to frisk us, but now he'll be too busy investigating the noise. On our way by, we'll also carefully nab this wet floor sign, setting up an accident and a very expensive negligence lawsuit for later. Once we've made our way to the investment banker floor, we'll open these doors and fire another shot, shattering a large pane of glass in the process. Instead of stopping to buy shares at Bird Bath & Beyond, we'll pick up a nearby newspaper and make our way through where that glass used to be. Before we start heading to our target, we need to wait for Fabian Mann to head out the door, letting us fire a shot that gets 2 birds stoned at once, turning him around and destroying the security camera. Once his back is turned, we can knock him out and carefully drag him into this corner. At the same time, Mateo Perez walks through that puddle we stole the sign from, getting pacified and dropping his data disk in the process. With our first data key collected, we'll head down this hallway, carefully timing the head movement of this guard so we can just make it by. Fabian also drops a keycard when we knock him out, allowing us to use it and enter this back room that's connected to Athena's office. When someone has guards specifically assigned to them, they're known as a VIP, and they'll use those guards to investigate most noises that they hear. However, by using a peekaboo lure, Athena will head over to this corner of the room to investigate alone. From here, we can simply throw an object to gain her interest, and with no guards close enough, she'll come into the room to investigate by herself, letting us eliminate her with a simple headshot. We'll make sure to grab her data core and start heading back to the exit. In order to ensure that the secretary doesn't see us going down the hallway or become peekaboo lured and find Fabian's body, we'll throw a feather duster into this corner and carefully make our way past this guard, once again timing his head turns to make it around him unscathed. With only 1 data core left to collect, we'll make sure to avoid Mateo Perez and start heading towards the main entrance, using a concussive ducky to panic and distract these NPCs so we can sneak by. Once we're no longer trespassing, we're free to run over to this puddle to collect our 3rd and final data core. However, if you pick up the key card, you'll immediately be compromised, so it pays to take a little time to ensure you're picking up the data core. With Athena's account permanently closed and all 3 data cores in our possession, we're free to leave one of the most difficult levels in the run. The final level of Season 2 takes us to an island paradise, a serene set of beaches and seaside villas that do a great job of distracting you from the fact that NPC view cones are double the size and this is actually a living hell. Here, we'll be starting our mission at the Shark Hut entrance, packing our trusty ducky pistol and sniper, as well as a concussive ducky. Our mission is to ensure 3 targets have an early checkout: Ludmila Vitrova, former con artist, Stephen Bradley, the least insufferable crypto bro, and Tyson Williams, the resort CEO who probably picked up the same thing we caught in Miami. The first step in this level is acquiring a propane tank, which we're going to do by causing some NPCs to notice a bullet impact. Depending on the surface and how close a bullet hits, NPCs can notice a shot as a simple noise distraction or a bullet impact. With 2 shots, it's guaranteed they'll notice it as a bullet impact, unless you wait a long time between shots. When non-guards notice a bullet impact, they'll panic and run to the nearest guard, allowing you to do things like trespass without getting compromised by them. We'll use this trick to sneak into the kitchen and interrupt the preparation of chicken fingers. Now that we've scooped up our favorite portable accident kill, we'll head back to the beach and into these bushes, dropping our propane and sniper after a fast unpack and taking only the briefcase as we head towards our first target. By throwing the briefcase at the perfect angle, such that she is the second one to notice it flying into the water, we can ensure that she doesn't delegate the task to her guard and starts walking into the ocean herself. With a single shot to the hand from our ducky sniper, we can eliminate Ludmilla with an accident kill, dropping the sniper, grabbing the propane, and bolting out of there just fast enough to avoid being compromised. Next on the list is Steven, who's just finishing up his reps at the gym. Instead of waiting for him to walk out though, we can place this ducky in propane right about here, and start heading towards the mansion of Tyson Williams. Once Steve is done with his workout, we can watch him head outside and notice the ducky, triggering it about 3 steps after he notices it. With good timing, we'll take out Steve with an explosive accident that the nearby Zumba class will never forget. With only Tyson Williams left to eliminate, we'll have to run for a while to make it to the gates of his compound, where we'll snatch up a nearby hammer and scale the wall. Once inside, we need to carefully make our way up these stairs, grab the screwdriver behind the guard, and aim a well-placed toss, turning his attention away from us as we scale this ladder to the 2nd floor. We'll begin the process of knocking out everyone in our way by grabbing the screwdriver and tossing it into the corner. We need to make sure to stay behind the wall, as he can see through these doors despite their opacity. Once he's been pacified, we'll grab the hammer and use it again, knocking out this guard as he lounges completely unaware. Quickly now, we'll move towards the other 2 guards further down the balcony, using a peekaboo lure to draw this guard away from his conversation. As fast as we can, we'll drag this body around the corner, getting out of view just in time for him to approach and catch a hammer to the face. Using our pistol to take out this camera, we'll pick up our trusty hammer and run over to the last oblivious guard on the balcony. With this gauntlet of CTE almost complete, we'll head over to a place where we can peekaboo lure Tyson's personal guard. To make sure he's turned away from us when he comes outside, we'll place down a weapon on the balcony for him to find. Once he comes out and finds the gun, we can give out our last concussion for the day, allowing us to kill Tyson with a simple headshot and start making our way towards the exit. Although the insane view cones on this map prevent me from playing it too often, I do think the storm clouds that roll in after you eliminate your targets are a really cool touch. And as long as you're careful to avoid the gaze of nearby enforcers on your way out, you're free to enjoy the view as we make our way to the mission exit. As if Hitman needed an increase in moral gray area, our next mission requires us to vacation to Dubai. Here, we'll be starting off at the default entrance, bringing along only our sniper and pistol. Our targets are 2 key players in the antagonistic organization named Providence, Dynasty patriarchs Carl Ingram and Marcus Stuyvesant. We'll start by skipping the cutscene a couple seconds in and sprinting up these stairs. It's important that we skip fairly early into the cutscene, as this allows us to fast unpack our sniper and begin climbing this vine before the patrolling guard has a chance to see us. Once we've reached the top, we'll immediately muscle over the ledge and head into these doors on our left. We'll use our sniper to take out this camera and unlock these doors, placing our pistol on the ground for a nearby guard to find. After distracting this guard with a shot to the wall, we're going to utilize something called a gun flash, which is when the bodyguard of a VIP sees you with an illegal item and instantly enters a state of panic. While they're in this state, they're temporarily blind to certain actions, letting us run by and push Carl over the railing right in front of his personal guard. With the first kill out of the way, we'll head back downstairs to where the guard is picking up our gun. After waiting for Marcus to walk through the door, we'll fire a single distraction shot into the corner, and since his guard is technically in the other room, he'll go over by himself, letting us snipe him and go to the exit before his guard has a chance to see the body. Getting us out of Dubai faster than you can say Mohammed bin Salman was definitely responsible for the orchestration. Oh, shit. Our next caper takes us to the home of the least despicable billionaires in Dartmoor, England, where we'll begin at the back of the mansion with our pistol, feather duster, and a ducky. This mission is similar to New York, where we only have to eliminate one target, family matriarch Alexa Carlisle, but we also need to collect 2 halves of a vault access key, carried by the butler and the daughter Rebecca. After waiting out the short cutscene, we'll start waddling towards the mansion, using a single bullet distraction on this guard up here to turn him around and let us sneak by. Our first order of business is to gain access to the mansion via these doors and use our trusty feather duster to pacify this maid, hiding her body in the closet and immediately heading out the door. In order to prevent an NPC from walking under the chandelier at the same time as Alexa, we'll fire a single bullet distraction, pausing his stroll and letting us eliminate her with an easy accident kill. Now that Alexa is out of the way, we can continue running down the hallway towards the butler to grab the first half of the access key. We need to be careful here, as he can see through the doors when he walks through them, so you have to make sure you're well hidden enough behind this box when you throw the feather duster to knock him out. With the first access key collected, we'll hide his body and make our way past the scene of Alexa's tragic accident, heading back towards the area we knocked that maid out in. Here, we'll place a ducky and wait for Rebecca to walk through the room, knocking her out and collecting the second half of the access key to complete our last objective. After we hide her body, we'll carefully head through this back room and out the doors, tossing our feather duster into this wall to turn these guards around, letting us fire a distraction shot into this wall and pick up the keys for the limo. With that, we're free to make our escape right behind the back of this diligent guard. This next mission is the closest most speedrunners will get to having a night out, as we find ourselves surrounded by enemy assassins in a Berlin nightclub. We'll start at the radio tower, bringing along our pistol, sniper, and a feather duster. Our task is to eliminate 5 of the ICA agents that have come to put an end to the legend. This is the only entrance that allows us to wear the bird suit, but it's also a long way away from where the carnage begins, so we'll skip the cutscene and start running immediately. After a lengthy migration to the back room of the front entrance, we'll head up these stairs, navigating up this ledge so we can unpack our sniper to fire a single distraction shot. Once this guard turns around, we can dust him and move on, grabbing this propane to knock out the next guard and generate one of my favorite satisfying sounds. Immediately after, we'll take out the first target with our sniper and scope in on this agent smoking a dart. With a non-lethal shot to the hand, we can push him into a drowning accident, quickly moving to shoot this bag of bricks and pick up our third kill of the mission. Looking over to this enemy assassin over here, we'll fire a bullet distraction high up on the wall. Just like we saw in Bangkok, he perceives this sound to be on the roof of the building and starts heading upstairs to investigate the noise. On our way to meet him, we can shoot the scooter and the resulting leaking gas, taking out our 4th target with an accidental explosion. Once we take out our final target with the sniper, we can run back down these stairs, taking out a couple security cams on the way. With all 5 targets having fallen to this bird of prey, we'll use our sniper to take out this camera and unlock these doors. We're going to knock out this pizza guy, ruining his delivery ratings and the night of those people who ordered chicken wings, as we steal his moped keys and make our escape from the nightclub. The location of our next mission is in China, and is either pronounced Chongqing or Chongqing. People will correct you either way, but what we can all agree on is that we'll be starting off at the balcony entrance, bringing along our pistol, feather duster, and a concussive ducky. We've come to take care of 2 targets, spooky cyborg Imogen Royce, and a man called Hush, who runs a sinister and immoral cybernetics program that still kills less mammals than Neuralink. After skipping the cutscene almost immediately, we'll turn tail and start running towards this pipe, using it to scale onto this balcony so we can pacify this guard with a feather duster. Scooping up this sniper and shooting this drone will cause Hush and Imogen to set off on a predetermined path, and while we wait for them to get in position, we'll throw a concussive ducky onto these stairs. Now, you're about to see one of the simplest out-of-bounds boosts in the entire game. If we take cover on this wall, walk to the right, and exit cover, we'll instantly be boosted on top of these boxes. From this new vantage point, we'll first shoot this guy in the hand so he doesn't see us later, and then we'll scope into Hush's room. By shooting this light as soon as he's reached the middle, we can put him into a calculated panic, causing him to run into the balcony where we can eliminate him with a well-timed sniper shot. To prevent anyone from finding his body, we'll use our pistol to fire a panic shot on his guard and detonate the ducky right away, pacifying both of these guards and letting us drop down without getting spotted. Before we do drop off the ledge, we'll need to fire more panic shots onto the people in this courtyard. With any luck, we won't fall to our death and will instead be on the way to Imogen, who's walking around a compound deep underground. Instead of trying to gain access, we're going to head over to a window that allows us to shoot through walls and into the facility. After the only nearby NPC is blinded by a panic shot, we'll wait until Imogen reaches the top of these stairs to fire a distraction shot, causing her only guard to investigate. With a simple headshot and beeline sprint to the nearest exit, we can escape the mission before her body is even found. Our next mission takes us to the Mecca for wine moms, the Yates Vineyard and Estates in Mendoza, Argentina, where we'll be starting off at the shrine entrance, bringing along our pistol, sniper, a concussive duck, and an explosive duck stashed at the shrine. Here, we're contractually obligated to eliminate 2 targets, Dawn Yates and Tamara Vidal, who are both leaders within the Providence organization. After our daily prayer session to Horus, we'll run behind the statue to grab our stashed explosive ducky and a tank of propane. We'll immediately toss and detonate this ducky, making it much easier for us to avoid guards as we round the corner, toss up the propane, and fast unpack our sniper to head over the wall. With any nearby guards on this level also concerned with the explosion, we're free to head over to Dawn's house, where we'll quickscope this door open and pick up the propane to head inside. Once Dawn enters the room, but the guards are still in the stairwell behind him, we'll fire a single distraction shot into the table, causing Donald to head over and investigate by himself. With a single shot to the chain of the chandelier, we can put Yates' case to rest and continue towards our next target. With no need for the sniper, we'll drop it and fire a panic shot onto these guards with our pistol, making sure to grab our propane before we hop down off the ledge. With all the nearby enforcers blinded, it's a pretty easy journey towards Tamara, who's just making her way through the party entrance. All we have to do to fulfill our contract is place the ducky in propane in such a way that she doesn't get pacified by the ducky first. As long as you follow those guidelines, you're free to set up this kill however you like. We'll then make an incredibly long journey to the exit, one of the furthest as the crow flies, but at least we don't have any enforcers to worry about as we head towards the last leg of our journey. At last, the final level of our feathery pilgrimage is here. Before we start, I have to mention that my chat came up with a bird name for every single one of these levels, ranging in quality and creativity from Amcrow's Flyland to Flyammy to Chicken. They tried. Anyways, if you'd like to see the full list of names or what this run looks like live, drop by my stream at twitch.tv/aspectacore. The final mission of the run brings us to Ambrose Island, where we'll be bringing along our ducky pistol, sniper, and a remote explosive ducky. As well as disabling a satellite control panel, we're here to eliminate 2 targets: Noelle Crest, the local militia leader, and Akka, pirate queen of the Andaman Sea. We begin by running out of the crowd and up the stairs into this corner, being sure that nobody's whooshing us as we shoot the barrel of water and the light above it, causing an electrified puddle to form in the path of Nolan Crest. With Crest's fate sealed, we'll move on to taking out the satellite control panel. After a long walk on the beach and into this cave, we'll use our pistol to triple shot this guard and take out this camera at the same time. We can now freely head over to the control unit and toss an explosive ducky, blowing it up to disable the satellite and leaving Akka as the only target left in the whole run. In order to make sure we don't get caught by that guard we triple shotted, we'll wait till his icon turns from white to black before we move past. While we're waiting around for Akka to get into position, we'll make our way over to this hut on the water, picking up a hidden key from underneath his brick on the table for later. We'll then double back to another vantage point, giving me just enough time to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching my videos. Having a chance to do this creative and fulfilling work is truly a dream come true, and I'll never be able to thank you enough for your support. Anyways, we'll wait until we see Akka turning this corner to snipe this light, killing her with a falling object despite it not even being close. With this, our feathery foray across 20 levels is finally finished. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe and share it with someone who might enjoy it. Until I see you next time, I've been a Spectacor, and thank you for watching.